Hey, welcome everybody. Paul here, Music Villa in Bozeman, Montana, and I'm with my friend Don Ruffatto from Gibson. Today is actually your 25th anniversary at Gibson Guitar. So
it's been a great ride.
Congrats.
My friends tell me I have the best job in the world, and I always tell them it's better than that. So it's great people, great friends, customers, dealers, and the best coworkers you could ever have, and it's been great time.
Well, we thank you for everything you've done for us, and congrats on 25 years. That's a great thing. I'd like to talk about a couple things. So, speaking of Gibson Guitar, came here in 1989, right, to Bozeman, Montana, and that is what 31 years ago now.
31, yes.
So, pretty impressive. 31 years here building guitars. You know, the climate's just better here to build guitars, and so you guys ended up here, and it's been a good run. And what we're going to do today is talk about the J-45 for a couple of reasons. One, we have like 6 of them in the store at this moment for people to choose from. And, you know, years ago, I remember you'd always say, well, if you always have 2, you know, at least someone, you know, we'd always try to have 2 on the wall. And it really helps when you're coming in to buy a guitar, because if there's 2 of the exact same guitar, one of them is better for you. You know,
it's the amount of handwork that we put into our guitars gives each one an individuality, each one a feel and sound that is a one-of-a-kind thing.
Yeah.
And by having multiples, people can come in and they can see that, they can feel it, they can hear it, and we love the fact that we're still allowed to do the handwork that we do. I mean, I hear it every day that the guitars we're doing right now are some of the best we've ever done.
Yep.
They're the most consistent, and it's just fun.
It is, and it's true. There, you can see it. There's always something just unique on a Gibson guitar, and like I said, there's so many people that touch this with their hands. Being at the factory before, it's impressive to see, and it gives them each their own little flavor. Now, every J-45, they're all going to be in the same category, right, of tone. But in every guitar, any guitar out there, you're really going to see little differences no matter what, because wood is wood. I mean, wood's going to change. It's just, everything's going to be a little different. But for the most part, all the J-45s have a great sound, which is iconic. I mean, the J-45's been around
since 1942.
42.
Yeah.
So, oh boy, and since that time, I mean, that's probably the best-selling guitar Gibson has ever made on the acoustics.
There's no doubt. It's been our biggest-selling guitar every year since 1942.
Yeah.
And just speaking a little bit about, you know, the work that goes into it, every piece of wood is hand-sanded to final thickness. Every neck is hand-shaped. So even though we start with a basic profile, everyone's going to feel just a little bit different, have a little bit different touch. And that just creates that thing that when someone finds that guitar they like, it's the only one like that.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Yeah. It's every day is kind of like something new coming in the door, and I love watching people sit down, and I'm always curious which one are they going to pick. You know, I mean, out of all these right here, like we would all pick different ones. It just depends on your, you know, there's not a bad one here, but they're different. I'm going to pick a different one. I already told you I like that one. And
people hear things differently.
Yeah.
And they have different preferences and different playing styles, and the type of music you play kind of tempers what tonality you want to get out of a guitar as well. So there is a guitar for every person out there. They may look alike, but they're not exactly alike.
Totally. Well, what we'll do is we'll just talk about them a little bit more. We'll talk about the construction, and we'll just, you know, we'll come up with a few more things. Then at the end of the video, we'll just go through. We'll have you strum them. We'll mark down the serial numbers and kind of let people hear, you know, the differences and stuff. So let's just talk about construction real quick. J-45, for people that are not familiar with it, it is what we call the slope shoulder dreadnought. And so it is a dreadnought body shape, the bigger body shape. And but you can see it's kind of sloped on the shoulders there versus some guitars are a little more squared off. It is a mahogany construction, all solid woods, mahogany back and side, spruce top. And there's, you know, in the world of guitars, there's mahogany back and sides and rosewood back and sides are the 2 most common things out there.
Yes.
And you kind of have to have some of each. So
you do. I mean, rosewood, what my ears hears, rosewood gives you a little more rounded low end, a little bit more bass response to just in a nutshell. but the mahogany is the most balanced. That is why guitars like a J-45, like a D18, why they are so popular in recording studios, on stages, because they just work well throughout the entire spectrum, from the low E to the high E. Everything is right there.
Yeah. Let's strum this one a little bit. Just for the heck of it. Do the same thing on this one. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very similar,
Subtle differences.
but there's some differences. I'd have to go back and forth a couple times to get it.
Yes.
You know, I was gonna say we could do a blindfold test today, but they're all J-45, so it doesn't really.
It's just fun. Again, this guitar is just, you pick it up and you want to play.
Yeah.
You know, I have one at home, and it's my go-to. I pick it up, and all of a sudden it's an hour and a half later, and I'm still playing.
Yeah.
You know, still playing. It's just like time just flies by. 'Cause
Yeah.
short scale on the J-45 gives it a
Good
little
dimension.
less tension, and a long 25.5 inches, 24 3/4. Allows for playing with a lighter touch if you're a finger stylist, but you can still drive it.
Yeah.
It will compress. It will bark at you if you hit it really hard, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
That just gives it that little bit of drive.
It is. I should add to my, I always say the J200, everyone should own one, but I really have to tell you the J45, everyone should also own one. And it's just one of those guitars that is kind of like, it's iconic. I mean, there's many out there in all brands, but in the Gibson brand, besides the J200, I think everyone should probably own a J45 as well.
We really have no way to 100% quantify it, but with the usage of this guitar through all genres of music since 1942, we have no doubt that this is the most recorded acoustic guitar in history.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's on so many iconic records, and you see it everywhere, and there's a good reason for it. It's just a classic. Like so many guitars, it's so funny. All the ones that originally came out in the 40s and 50s and all that, they're still today.
Mm-hmm.
They're just the hits. I mean, you can't recreate a guitar and make it better, it seems. I mean, they're just so good.
Well, and Gibson has thrown a lot of things at the wall that didn't stick over
true.
the years, as has, our competitors as well that have been around for a long time. But the ones that work just work.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so one more thing. So tell me about the pickup that's LR Bag.
LR Bags,
LR
VTC, volume and tone control, tucked discreetly up in the sound hole. A lot of good pickups out there, but we just feel the Bags pickups, and we've worked a lot with Lloyd over the years, really represent the sound of our guitars through a system, through an amplifier, translate it as good as anything, if not better, out there.
They really do sound good plugged in. I mean, it's plugging in any amp upstairs, and they're great. What else? Are we missing anything else about the 45?
Just the nature of the way we build guitars, the things that we do on them haven't changed forever. We still use the nitrocellulose lacquer.
Yep.
We still do dovetail neck joints with hot hide glue on every guitar we make. Our tops are not flat. They have a radius dome, which helps project the sound like a speaker cone.
Yeah.
And again, just going back to the fact that the handwork that we do is unparalleled in production, major production by any of the company.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget about. There's just little things like the nitrocellulose lacquer. That is something that is just such a classic finish, and a lot of, it's very rare to see it anymore on guitars, and it's what it takes like 9 coats. It takes like 2 weeks to do a finish. Like
It's
this.
close to that, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very expensive, very time-consuming process, but it's the only way you can make that guitar mature.
Yeah.
We like to say become that vintage guitar of the future,
Yeah.
because it will get better and better for decades.
Yeah, it'll age. Possibly it'll start to spider the finish, and it's just a cool thing. I can imagine these guitars in 40, 50 years, how cool they're going to be. It's the next vintage guitars of the future.
Absolutely.
So, great guitars. Thanks, Don. I think we covered everything. That's the Gibson J-45. Don, congrats on 25 years at Gibson Guitar. And thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll go through in the end, and we'll just we'll strum each one, and we'll just see if you can hear the difference. And if you like one, give us a call or visit us at musicvilla.com. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Don.